Hello guys, do you struggle writing something of quality? To have a quality paper and to write English really nicely? Therefore this video is made for you. I will share with you all the tips I got from my previous supervisors on how to improve my writing. So I thought I would share them with you and I think it can be really helpful. So the first tip is to have a good story. You can do it in Word or on papers. Just you write down a few papers, and in each of a paper you will write an idea of what you want to say in your introduction, for example, and you will try to organize them in a logical way so it makes sense. So it's going as a straight line and not then back. You can also use mind maps to actually organize the idea in a logical way. You can also work backward, so you start by the end. So what is your hypothesis? And then you say, okay, why did I come to that hypothesis? And you move backward until you have the whole story. You can also write all the chapters, subheading and so on, headings, subheadings of your thesis or of your paper. So you already have the story written kind of, and then make it validated by your supervisor. This is the most important. Be sure that your supervisor thinks it's a good plan, good story, and good idea, because that way you will go on the right direction. Second tip would be not to edit until you have written the first draft completely. So write your introduction fully, then you can start trying to improve it. But do not start editing everything. For your discussion is the same. Write everything you have in mind, everything you want to say, and then start editing it after. The third tip would be to send your paper, your writing, to your supervisor. Once you have done 20% of the work, that brings 80% of the results. So once your writing is already good, once your discussion or introduction is really well written, but you haven't spent 10 weeks writing it, you have spent some time, but you haven't reached the 100% you could reach, because it's not the point. You don't want to waste all your time on it, because then you also need other people to improve what you actually wrote. So once you have written 20%, that brings you 80% of the quality you can get, send it to your supervisor to get feedback on it, and he or she will improve it a lot just by doing that. My supervisor in the Netherlands gave me a tip, which to use the sentence structure for paragraphs, which is basically have one sentence for the main idea of your part, and then two support sentences for this idea. And then you can start again. My main sentence, two support sentences. This is a basic structure to write nicely and to write something that is organized and that makes sense. Then when you start being a good writer, you can actually move a bit this structure, but this is a really helpful structure that helped me a lot for my previous introductions, previous discussions, and it really helped me improve my writing a lot. Fifth tip is that each part should have a purpose. Why do you want to write this part in your introduction, in your discussion, in your thesis? Why? What's the point? What's the point of this sentence? Why do you say this sentence? Does it bring something to your story, or is it just because you read something interesting and you wanted to put it? Don't be scared of removing things that are not useful. It will increase the flow of your story. Don't put unnecessary information. The sixth tip is to edit. So how to edit? Edit it first by removing redundancy, sentences that say the same things, the words that are, not useful and that just add weird thing to your story. You can also use Grammarly, a really nice software that will correct your English. It's really useful, really nice, and I really use it all the time, and it allows me to correct for weird mistakes I could have made, basically. And accept that good writing is drafting and drafting again. This is the point of a draft, is not to be perfect, it's to be drafty. And it will be polished and improved over time, so accept that your first draft will not be that great and that it will take time to improve. Seventh tip, and I think is something that is really forgotten in many papers you read, is to discuss the robustness of the results from the other papers. So in your introduction you can or when you are at a review or in a discussion, discuss how robust the results are, and this will help increase your critical thinking. It's difficult to do it at first, but then when you start learning and knowing more about your topic, you will be able to judge like what they say is true, but not as true as they say, and try to discuss it in your discussion. This is really nice and helpful. It will help you to improve the quality of your writing and of your work, and remove confusion. Your sentence should have only one interpretation possible. If your sentence is read and could mean two different things, your sentence is not good. Also remove ambiguity, remove the words that are vague and that could be interpreted in different ways. Do not use big words, and be responsible to make your work understandable. You want people to understand your work. This is the point of writing, is to communicate. Write like if you were discussing something with your colleagues. Write like if you would explain your story to someone. Finally, to be clear, start to say what you're going to discuss it, say what you just discussed. In short, writing is a skill. It's difficult at first. It will take time. It will take you a lot of time to improve it and to get better at it. But it's worth it. It's a nice experience. It's enjoyable. And I want to wish you good luck in your writing. If you're currently writing an article or your thesis. If you like that video, please press the like button. I also share another video in which I speak about how to actually get started in your writing and how to write. I see you next week. Ciao.